Jim Gordon here in the offices of the Richmond Sentinel. Time for another edition of Richmond Stories. Out of a pool of more than 5,200 applicants, the 90 graduating high school and CE/GEP students selected as the Loran Award finalists from the class of 2024, these students have demonstrated their drive to step up in the face of challenges and to have a positive impact on their communities across this country. The Loran Award is a 4-year leadership enrichment program offering a tuition waiver at one of the 25 university partners. The 90 students will travel to Toronto February 23rd through 25th for the Loran National Selection Interviews, where 36 Loran Awards, valued at over $100,000 each, will be granted. If not selected as a Loran Scholar, the students will be eligible to receive a $6,000 Loran Finalist Award. And one of those students traveling to Toronto is our guest today, as we come up on camera here at the Richmond Sentinel. Our guest is Nayis Majumder. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, congratulations on this. Boy, you are 17, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 17, I'm just still trying to figure out how to make my bed, and you are getting all this great stuff done. I mentioned at the beginning about the Loran Awards. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that first. Tell our viewers exactly what that is.
So the Loran Award is a leadership and integrity award given out by a collection of universities across Canada, from like UBC, SFU, and like even schools on the east, such as like Dalhousie.
Yeah. And
basically it's a foundation that was funded to promote leadership rather than solely academic success.
Yeah, I was looking at your credentials, and again, congratulations. I know that people from your generation nowadays have to do a lot more and want to do a lot more socially conscious than, say, they were in my generation. We'll get back to Loran Awards in a second, but just some of the things that you've done. You've worked on the RSD 38, which I should say is Richmond School District, right? You told me that. You served on the Ministry of Education's Anti-Racism Working Group, created and facilitated allyship workshops for the city of Richmond's Pride Week celebrations. You've done a lot. Where does that, have you always had this interest in wanting to give back to the community?
I think that I've had a passion for social justice from a very young age. It may be in part due to my cultural upbringing. My parents are Bangladeshi, and I'm Bangladeshi as well. Mm-hmm. And during that time in Bangladesh, for them, they had a war in which they had to fight for their sense of identity and belonging. So I believe those values instilled in me, and I now want to fight for everyone to be able to freely express themselves and their identities.
We'll talk a little bit more about your future toward the end, but you also served as student council president and have been a student in student council for 4 years. Boy, it must be a busy week for you when you're in between schooling and all the other activities that you take part in.
Honestly, it doesn't feel that busy because it's like I love doing those activities. So honestly, like sometimes I just look forward to doing that. Right. And that's what gives me the energy back, and that's what keeps motivating me to be at school and be happy.
So when did you begin the application process?
I began the process around late October or early November, as the application is annually due around mid-November.
Okay, so what prompted you to apply for this award?
My teachers, as well as some of my friends, believed that I would be a great fit for the award. And after looking more into it, I was like, oh, I should give it a shot, because I was like, oh, if I don't apply, what are the chances that I don't get it? Zero.
Right. Yeah, good point. And tell our viewers a little more about what's involved in the application. What did you have to include in your application?
So it's a personal profile similar to the UBC personal profile, and there are 5 essays and multiple activity logs that you have to do. It's all written out on the Loran webpage. If you would like to find more of it, there's sample applications. In addition to that, after you complete the application initially, there is a supplementary video in which you have to complete a recording of yourself answering a couple different questions on a video platform.
Right, yeah.
After that, there is the semi-finalist interview, which is a only for the 250 semifinalists
Yeah.
selected, in which you're partnered in various different groups of like 10 to 15 people. And that's actually a really fun process because you're getting to meet a bunch of different great leaders and honestly very friendly people across Canada.
That's great, yeah.
And finally, there's the finalist interview, which is what I am going to next week.
Yeah, I was going to say, so that's next week. When did you find out that you were a finalist for this award?
I found out that I was a finalist 1 week after completing the semifinalist interview, as I was in one of the last groups to actually conduct it. I heard that some of the earlier interviews, for example, the people in Ontario, I believe,
Yeah.
they had to wait such a long time, like about 6 weeks to find out if they were selected as a finalist.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful.
Yeah, okay. And again, we cite our viewers who have kids that may be interested in following your lead and your path. What advice would you give for parents out there with children your age, young men and women, to apply?
I think that it's important to understand that there's no right path to apply.
Okay.
And the Loran Foundation, I believe, values people's passions more so than a correct way to go about things. If you're passionate about sports, I believe that you should put time and effort into developing those skills. If you're passionate about social justice like I am, it's essential that you pursue those passions.
Excellent. Got to ask you this, your whole life ahead of you, what are your future plans? What do you want to do? You want to get into university, and what do you want to study?
I want to study social justice at UBC because I want to pursue becoming a human rights lawyer or a DEI consultant.
Right.
I've worked in the Ministry of Education's Anti-Racism Working Group, and from there I learned about careers in social justice. I've always been passionate about social justice, especially after the Black Lives Matter movement.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I've always wanted to be able to utilize my voice to create change in our society.
You find, I was at a dinner not long ago and we were all sitting around talking about how teachers can make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
High school for me is so far in the rearview mirror, I can barely remember it, but I do remember those one or two teachers that really pulled me aside and said, yeah, you're doing the right thing, go this way. Did you have that experience in your high school career?
Yeah, I work at the community center as well, and there is a saying that goes along that's like, every child needs one person that believes in them 100% so that they can develop into the best of their potential. And for me, that was my French teacher, who is also the sponsor of my social justice club at school.
And what is your French teacher's name? Let's give them a nice plug.
Mugi Masaki.
Well done. Yeah, that is so true. If you are lucky enough to have great parents, that's great, but you do need one or two teachers to help you along, and I'm sure there'll be one or two more with you. Listen, we want to wish you, on behalf of myself and our Richmond Sentinel team here and everybody, we want to wish you all the best and safe travels to Toronto, and please come back and see us for this next chapter of your life.
Thank you.
What a great Richmond Stories. It's Nayis Majumder. He has joined us here. Thank you for watching from the Richmond Sentinel office. I'm Jim Gordon. See you next time.